Tracy, you also work as a paramedic for Vancouver Ambulance Services. Can you provide us a few tips with like how students themselves can keep their mental health and like stay healthy?
Sure. So as a paramedic with it's a province-wide service, the British Columbia Ambulance Service, I get a little bit more training than perhaps the average person would have in terms of recognizing, first off, what a traumatic event is. And you know what, a pandemic definitely fits. It's something just outside of your normal experience that's markedly distressing. This is a traumatic event and it's affecting all of the students, everybody in the SFU community, everyone in the world, basically. So we've got that. Well, what happens when you have a traumatic event? Your body can, not just your body, you can have reactions that you don't necessarily realize are actually reactions to the event. So I tend to think of those reactions as falling into four categories: your head, your heart, and two hands. So your head is not being able to think straight, not being able to remember, not being able to make decisions. Some people will experience some of these symptoms, some will not experience them. It's different for each individual. But if you notice any of those in yourself, that's probably because of the pandemic. It's okay, it's normal. This is an abnormal event. These are normal reactions. In terms of your heart, that's your emotions. You might be feeling incredibly sad or angry or just sort of all the emotions overwhelming. You might find yourself crying all the time. The two hands, I think of that as being your behavior. So what you're actually doing in the world. You might find yourself just snapping at people for no reason. You might find yourself overeating, overindulging in things. You might find yourself just being more clumsy than usual. These might be your symptoms, they might not. And on the other hand is your body. You might be exhausted. You can't get out of bed. You might be so full of energy because you just need to do something and you can't. All of these are normal reactions. And the most important thing, first off, is to recognize that doesn't mean that you're not handling this well. That means you're having totally normal reactions to a crazy thing that's going on in the world around you. So the advice of what to do, once having first recognized that, oh, maybe this is why I'm doing this thing that seems weird to me, is not going to sound particularly profound, but really these are the things that those of us in emergency services find work. First off, your diet. Do your best to eat as healthily as possible and to drink lots of water. If you have a vice, whether it's a bit of junk food, whether it's a beer, that sort of thing, it's okay to have a little bit, but focus on a healthy diet. Second thing is get some exercise, even if it's in your living room, even if you're doing jumping jacks or push-ups or whatever in your living room, have an activity, maintain activity levels. The third is find ways to relax, find the things that energize and recharge you. And the fourth one is reaching out and getting support. Not just because, well, I'm at the point that I feel I need to. You know what? It's better to reach out early, even if you're not feeling that you're at that point. And studies have shown that reaching out and talking to your support group, whether that's your peers, whether that's the services that Giovanni and Osab have mentioned already, whether that's looking to your local crisis lines, wherever you happen to be, reaching out and talking to someone early helps you deal with this better in the long term. So really that diet, exercise, relaxation, and reaching out to your support groups. They're basic, but they're what really help.
Tracy, even though like a healthy diet, exercising is all good points, but there is a socialization and like hanging out with your friends that has an effect on your mental health and your physical health as well, I believe. So that's not going to be a case for summer semester. Like things are closed, everything is off. Students and everyone is advised to stay home, isolate themselves, to stay safe. How they can substitute it? How it's going to affect them?
And that's going to come under in a sense, the relaxation, the things that you do to recharge, and your normal things might not really be there. But if you look in the news stories, people are finding all kinds of different ways to connect and to have those social interactions, whether it's going out in their balconies and having a balcony party, where it's your neighbors, perhaps maybe not the friends that you would normally be interacting with, but you're now making new connections. And because people are going through a shared experience, that can actually be really quite powerful. Or doing things, there's a host of examples out there of people creating compilation videos where they're all working together on something, but from different locations. And you can still have an awful lot of connectivity, even though it is online. It's a different type, but with the technologies available today, where it's not just sending text back and forth in an email. It's not just voice. You've got video. You can actually be working together and interacting. And I really encourage people to be embracing that and to be looking for ways, not just to say, all right, we're going to set one time and we're going to have a conversation for 15 minutes, which is fine if you're going to do that. But people will have dinner with their best friend across the world by just opening up Skype or Zoom and having it open while they're having a meal, sharing conversation over dinner just as they normally do, but they're at a distance. Having a play date, if they've got kids, for example, setting up their kids on a play date, same idea. The screens are open and you can interact, not quite as though you're in the same room, but as close as we can get right now.
It's like trying to substitute it, but like going for the shared experience here to mentally relieve the stress.
Yeah, and it's going to be different, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's worse. And I think that's really important, whether you're talking about the social interaction, the learning, etc. This is different, but it can still be really, really valuable.